Hi everyone, my name is Deanna Britt from Law Clerk on Demand, and we're back with Nasar El talking about real estate marketing, my favorite topic. You ready?
I'm ready for it.
All right, cool. All right, so you and I have talked before about updating on marketing strategies, right?
Yes.
So would you agree that what was relevant 5 years ago isn't really working right now?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about your personal experience. So, what was your initial marketing strategy? What were you doing?
Mail, direct
Okay.
mail. Yeah, one point I was spending like 15 to 20 grand a month in just direct mail
15 to
marketing.
20 grand.
Yeah, a month in
Wow.
direct mail marketing. Yeah, I had the whole city under control at that point.
The whole city.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did that look like? 15 to 20 grand in marketing. What was that going to?
So about 15,000 in mail, probably about 30,000 homeowners
Okay.
were getting my mail piece. Yes.
Okay. So, spending money on postage. Were you doing postcards?
Postcards. Yes.
Okay. All right. So you're just hitting like every door.
Like literally, I was doing every absentee owner house in the city.
Okay. So absentee owners was your focus.
Yeah.
And how did that
everyone.
go?
I mean, it was going well at that time. It was going well. It was going well. And then the window got smaller, and it closed.
Okay.
So mail just stopped working, man. I'm not going to say it stopped working. Mail was not the most effective way anymore. It was just not the most effective way. I just noticed in my business, like, okay, I'm spending this, but I'm not making this back.
Right.
So it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Let me cut back.
Yeah.
So.
Switch some things up. So do you think direct mail is dead?
I would go ahead and say that. As of right now, if you're in a major city, it's very competitive. You know, can you potentially get a deal via direct mail? Yes. Is it the best route to go right now? Unless it's highly targeted. If you're just doing mass mailings, yeah, it can be that
Okay.
possibility. If you're in a major city. Now, if you're in an area that has like maybe 100,000 or less people, possibility it can still work.
Okay. And when you say highly targeted, what do you mean?
Like a highly targeted list, meaning something like probate, code enforcement, tax list, because those are lists that you know there's a problem there.
Okay.
You're just getting somebody to raise their hand and say, yeah, I need you to unload this burden.
Okay. So, and one thing with my company is I really push like fresh information. So, what do you consider is a good time frame to be talking to sellers? Do we want information 6 months, a year, 30 days, last week? What is your?
I mean, you want the data fresh depending on the list.
Okay.
So if somebody's if you get a code enforcement list from January of this year or in 2019, it's a possibility that that person resolved that issue. It's a strong possibility that they resolved that issue and they no longer have a problem and they don't want to sell. Or that tenant that moved into that property and broke some stuff and then called the city, it's a possibility that they finally got that tenant out the house and now they got the relief so they can breathe easy so they don't want to sell it as bad.
Right.
Yeah, so you want the information fresh.
Okay.
You want it fresh and as early as possible. You know, you can get like a targeted list. Like if you can get a code enforcement list, weekly or monthly, that's great.
Okay. And then if you were to send mail right now, what would that mail look like?
I mean, it'd be highly targeted. Like highly targeted, like they have a problem there.
Okay.
It works for highly targeted lists. You can still get good deals.
Okay. All right. So, so that's direct mail. So you're pretty much over direct mail right now. You're taking a little break.
Yeah, taking a
Okay,
break.
cool. So what does this look like? What are we doing now? Are you cold calling?
So cold calling, ringless voicemail, and text messaging.
Okay, so let's walk through some of those. So let's talk about cold calling. What made you start cold calling and how are you approaching that?
Basically, I get a list, and then I have to skip trace that list. And when I
Okay.
say skip trace that list, I mean find these people's phone number, and then you cold call them. Basically, ask if they're open to selling property at 123 Main Street.
Okay.
So, I like to do from that 9 to 1 spot, and then like 4 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I shut down at 8. I don't want to call nobody after 8 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you have a team or you're doing
I have a team of people doing it.
Okay.
I started out doing it so I could train them how to properly do it.
I love that. That's where I
Yeah.
was going because a lot of folks just want to just hire someone and I think
Yeah.
you should go through the fire.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
I've been yelled at on the phones. You've been yelled at on the phone.
Absolutely.
Makes you a better person.
Makes you a better
right?
person.
Okay.
Getting cursed out.
Yeah. And then what about like people who are thinking about using like call centers and stuff like that? Any thoughts on that or general advice? I know there's a million of them out there.
It's a lot of them out there now. So, I mean, I would ask for investor recommendations.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would ask for investor recommendations on one to see if, you got some good results. Because I've heard bad things about some, and a few of them I heard people say, yeah, that works. I'm getting deals from them. Or you can train your own VA on, how to do it. They call me sometime with my properties I own, so.
Yeah. Okay. But you're basically saying people need to build, start on the phone yourself, train someone, and then eventually get to the point where you're using a bigger system like a call center.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. So let's talk about text messaging. You mentioned that. So what does that look like for an investor?
All right, text messaging. Let's say if you you got a list, right? A probate list from you.
From Law Clerk on Demand.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So they went to Law Clerk on Demand, and you gave them some data, and it's about 50 names on that.
Yes.
All right, so it's like 50 names on that. What they can do is skip trace that list, and they can just do an individual text on, each person, especially if you're newer. Try to shoot for doing 10 an hour, until you get 50, and just individually text them, hello, my name is Pete, whatever, and I wanted to know if you're open to selling the house at 123 Main Street. I'm an investor in the area.
Right.
And cut it off there and, see if they respond. Now, you are going to get cursed out via text message.
Just like the phone, right?
Just like the phone. So be prepared, to be cursed out. But, yeah, all you're looking for is one person to say, yes, we are looking to sell that property, and, and you go from there.
Okay. Yeah, and one cool thing that I do like about probate lists is they come with a phone number, and the phone number is accurate for most lists. So no matter who your list provider is, there should be an accurate phone number. Evictions have phone numbers. So there's so many lists out there that already have it, so you don't have to do the chase of skip tracing.
Yeah.
But do you have some general advice? Because folks always ask me for the lists that don't have phone numbers, what should we use? What do we think? Any general advice about that?
The list that don't have phone numbers?
Yeah.
You guys use a third-party skip trace system, like something like a REIskip.com. So shout out to REI Skip. Yeah, and upload your data. Yeah, get that information.
So a good quality
Yes.
skip tracing provider. Okay, cool. And then the last thing you mentioned was ringless voicemails.
Yes.
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
So what ringless voicemail is basically a voicemail that goes directly to someone's phone, but your phone doesn't ring. And basically leaving a message, hey, I was in the area and I just wanted to see if you were open to selling your property. If so, please call. If not, I apologize, and you can ignore this message. Something similar to that. And yeah, you do those actually work.
Okay. So now, we're all in Facebook groups where we see all these conversations about marketing and what we should be doing, right? And then folks get into kind of a back and forth about rules and regulations and being worried. Any general advice? I mean, I don't want you to advise anybody legally. We're not about to go there. But what do you think? How do we get past that block of constantly reading and being terrified to send that first text or make the first call?
I mean, yeah, like Knight said, just do it.
Yeah.
It's just basically as simple as just do it. Some people just sit in the sideline for years, man. I mean, I know a lot of people that miss the greatest home buying opportunity of our lifetime because they sat on the sideline and just talked about it. And no matter you could have paid full price for a house 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it's a possibility that you now on the low end probably have about 50,000 equity if you did it in Charlotte. Some people doubled, tripled their the price they paid for the house, man, because they just took action. So you just want to keep that in mind, man. That the early bird gets the worm, and the early worm gets ate. So you want to go out there and be the prey.
Okay.
And make it happen and get it.
All right. Solid advice. Okay.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. So I thank you for that. I think that these are good advice. And so we've talked before about marketing just being the heartbeat of our business, right? And so I know we've talked before about the statistic of people who take action in a real estate meeting. What would you say that is? And what would you say to folks that are professional meeting goers right now?
Yeah, I would say those meetings usually about a 90-10 split. 90% of the people are not doing anything. Only that they have that 10% that's actually out there making things happen and doing deals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you'll find people that's, you know, they got their chest poked out and they're walking around and telling everybody how many deals they're doing, and they're not doing anything. So yeah, you want to try to align yourself with the people who are doing deals. And I get like these emails or text messages of people, hey, they all say the same thing. So some gurus out there teaching that, you know, what's your buying criteria or whatever. You know, I get tired of it because, especially the calls, because it's like I don't hear from them again. So most people don't do anything. You know, they do the most easiest thing and they don't do anything. So what you want to do is you just want to prepare for the journey, because the journey is tough. So don't focus on that big check. Focus on you going through with the process and not giving up.
Okay, I like it. Great advice. Thank you. Hi, this is Deanna Britt from Law Clerk on Demand. Thank you so much for checking out my video today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below a video topic that you might be interested in. Also, if you are involved in real estate, don't forget to visit our website, lawclerkondemand.com, and grab a specialty real estate lead list and find your next deal.